user psychology is one thing that you always have to keep in your mind while designing. Okay, there are multiple laws and there are multiple scientists and theorists who have sketched a lot of laws which user psychology you can enhance it. Okay, where you can enhance your user psychology. So I'll show you an image and I'll change it. You'll have to tell me which you have noticed on the first go. Okay, so this is the image and that's it. Okay, so now tell me what is the first product that you've noticed? The yellow one, right? You can blurly imagine the shape of it as well, right? So what is happening here? Yeah, this is called von Restroff effect or isolation effect. Okay, where if it is a crowd of product which is there, you can differentiate the product with some medium. It can be color or it can be size. Okay, if there is multiple similar product, the unsimilar one will catch the viewer's vision right away. Okay, and the user will remember that object the most. Okay, there is another example as well for this effect. I'll show you. You can take it clearly. Yeah, can you see this? In this, everybody's eye vision would go to this red apple other than green once they first see the image. Okay, so this is one psychological effect that every user would face while designing an app. If one thing, if you want your customer eye to go to that point on the first go, you can make it little unsimilar from other things. Like that is how they will be designing call to action button. Okay, there will be a lot of things going on in a page, but there will be a button where with some unsimilar effects, like it can be a 3D or it can be a gradient which they have used, or it can be a bright color that they've used. Other than the whole page will be so minimal, and we'll be using one bright color for the call to action, saying that the customer should go to that place and click that call to action button. Call to action button can be the button that we use for submit, or the button that we use for buy now option, the button that we use for add to cart option. So that are called call to action button. So we are calling the customer to do that action. That's what it means, right? So that is how you can use this effect in order to draw your customer's eyes. Okay, so knowing all these terms and the effects that they have named will be your supporting skill while you attend your interviews. Okay, and the next effect that we're going to see is serial position effect. Okay, serial position effect is nothing but when a user comes and experience your page, the first option that you give and the last option that you give will be remembered by him. Got it? The first thing that he sees and the last thing that he sees, you know, he'll be remembering that even after logging out, or even no, if he is not using your app, he'll be remembering the first and the last option of that you've shown. That is why uh, the hamburger menu is nothing but uh, there will be an option like three lines. Like I'll show you how it will be. I'll draw it here itself. Okay, hamburger menu. Have you seen some icons which looks like this in most of the website? Once you click this, this will be like three lines or three dots as well. Once you click it, what will happen is you will get a drag down box with so many options and so many functionalities, right? So most of the designers now, they are saying they ditched this hamburger menu because of this effect. So there is an effect called serial position effect, which says user who comes into your app will remember the first and the last thing that you show in your function. Like for example, that is the reason why all the designers will keep all the important icons, or the icons that a user has to go through, they'll be keeping it in the top corner or the bottom corner. If you see the websites, you can see always the home, about, service, contact us. So those kind of main functionalities would be placed on the top of the website or the bottom of the website. Okay, so the information that you're placing in the top of the website or the top of the app and the bottom of the website or an app is would be the most important functionalities that you'll be giving to the user. So that is why in an app we always have the main functionalities like home, profile screen, notification, search box, and all those important icons on the bottom. And you can see all the other important options on the top of the box, like home, what is all that, the for you option, contact option, the options that decide to be the most important can be placed on the top or the bottom of the page. Okay, this is one effect. This is a psychology which plays behind all the users mindset. Okay, if you want the use case, you will have to use this, right? If you have placed your home at the center of the page or at the side of the page, if you make it more visible, then if you can balance it with other psychology that you have. You have seen the isolation effect, right? So if this part, the side part, is totally isolated, and if we are using it in the side placement, then there is possibilities that the user can view it properly, right? So all the psychologies, you will have to play with it. So these are the things that is there in every user's mind, and you can compensate one effect with other effect. If you want to place it in the corners, it will be a rebellion action from your side. But if you can satisfy all the users need, or if you can satisfy all the functionality need, then it's cool to use. I'm not telling this is wrong. People are now reduced using this. That is what the Google says, but actually not the companies which are there in India stop using it. Okay, so you'll be, once you enter the corporate, all the terms and conditions that you have learned will not work there. You'll have to follow whatever conditions they have, whatever design they have been following, right? So if your brand needs a hamburger menu, it's cool, because hamburger menu has its own usabilities, right? You can't compromise that here, right? So you can do that. So there are multiple websites. Have you heard about dynamic websites and all? So some website, it only has a single page, and it will move, and it's the most futuristic website that I've came across. So that is the website where it will be flat, and it is a other dimensional website where you'll be riding a car throughout the website, and go to the gallery part of it, or go to the about part of it. So it is like more and more futuristic. Okay, those websites are not designed for any business purpose, or not for any corporate which is there in India. It is totally for blockchain, and it's totally for other web3 websites. So there are websites which are apart from whatever we are thinking. So creativity can go beyond all the rules, right? In web 2, like web 2 is nothing but the one that we are seeing and we are using. There is one more thing which is web 3, which they are directing to VR and AR, mixed reality. So websites for those things is like ultimate, and it's very futuristic. It's too futuristic. And for designing that, we'll have to learn, we'll have to practice in a more advanced way. Like we'll have to be 20 years ahead in order to design that kind of website. It's beyond all the psychologies of the user, and they don't care about the user, and they don't have any product to sell. That is why they don't care about the user psychology. They just need a fancy thing that will attract a crowd, and uh, that's what they need. They just need to attract a crowd. That is their motto. So they've been using those websites without any psychologies that exist in UX today, right? So these psychologies, you need it in order to get a job and work in under a company and work under a brand. You'll have to work on the psychology, because the users that you have this kind of psychology, not that kind of psychology. Got it? Yeah, I'll explain you more further in further classes, because I need some supporting materials to explain what is Web3 and what is all the websites that are going on, what is all the dynamic websites that are available. Okay, so it will be there in a single page, and there will be so many functionalities in a single page, right? So for reaching there, we'll have to learn like this only, right? Okay, the website that we are designing would be, we'll be giving the scroll options, or max to max there will be some little kind of movement, that is also called the dynamic website, not, but not hyper dynamic. It's like, that is like full of dynamism in it. Okay, so you can, you know, one by one step you can reach there. That's what I'm saying. So for reaching there, you need all this, you need to know all this psychologies that these countries using. You'll have to know all the psychology that that you'll have to that you need to get placed in a company and work there and stay there. So you'll have to play with all the psychology for the user which you have right now, right? Those users will come after 10 years. So if you need profit after 10 years, you can do that. But right now we need profit right now, right? You need to get earn right now, and you need to get placed in a company right now. So for that, all you need is, you'll have to understand the today user. Got it? Today user has all the psychological effects, and all the user who comes in the future will also have the psychological effect. And if you, once you know the psychological effect of your user, you can play with it in a best way possible, right? That is the reason you will always have to know about everything that exists when you enter the UX design world, right? You know, 4 years of my college, I didn't had any books. We don't have any books. We have unlimited books, like we have a library. So we'll have to study everything which come into your life. You'll have to study everything. You'll have to study everything that you see. You'll have to study the psychology of everything that come across in your life, in order to design, or in order to give a perfect solution for every problem that comes, right? UX design is the one field that gives you a lot of income on the first go. You know, a graphic designer is getting paid 15 to 20,000 when he starts his career, right? But a UX designer is get minimum is getting paid, minimum I'm saying, like the one who doesn't know UX design is getting paid 30,000 per month, because UX design has so many functionalities. You're seeing it, right? For giving an app, you will be crossing so many functions. You will be using your brain 24 bar 7, right? You'll be using the process, you'll be thinking about the process every time. You'll be, you know, designing it, you'll be creating it from the scratch. For that, you'll be doing a lot of research and lot of process. Like it I've you've done all that, right? You've researched, you've done brainstorming, you've done mapping, you've studied about the customer, you have interacted with the customer, you have done a field study of it, you have done interview, you know, you have done online interview of them, you have done offline interview of them, you have done so many processes, you have mapped the journey for them, you have mapped an internal journey for them, external journey for them. So UX design itself, it's not a single person work, it's a teamwork. So we'll always, when you enter the company, you'll have a team there to work with you. So it's a that big process. And all the UX designers need to, you know, need to have an unstoppable learning uh, habit in order to stay the way he wants, right? So this is a task, this is like, you know, something that not everybody does. Not a graphic designer would do that. The graphic designer, if you want to design a poster, he'll design it in another 1 hour and he'll send it, right? But UX design is not that, it won't happen that way. And UX design is one thing that will make a product sell. right? If you have a best product in your brand or whatever product you have, you need to know the user experience, and you need to know the psychology behind it to sell the product to the user target, right? So you're playing the most important role in every corporate, right? That is how UX design is important. So UX design is everywhere. If you can see, you can get job in any company. You can just name any company. Even if it is a cake shop, they would be needing a UX design. If it is an Apple, they'll be needing an UX design. So from zero to whatever company it's there, it exists, they need UX designers, right? Microsoft or Apple, I'm not sure, they're designing a VR product which comes like a eye lens, where you can place it in your eyes and play the game. It's another level of video game that is there right now. It's there in Dubai, it's there, it's existing already, but not in India. It'll take years to come into India. Got it? So you will have to know all the updates about what is happening in the whole world. So you will have to just go through so many just random informations, because any information that you come across in your life will help you in some or other point while you're designing. Okay, so everything that you're learning is your profit, all everything that you're learning. Okay, no learnings are small, no learnings are of no use. Okay, everything that you learn in my 4 years of college, they taught me ABCD, how to write ABCD in multiple ways. Can you imagine that? After coming to college, I've learned ABC, writing ABCD, because ABCD itself have grown a lot. We can communicate with person. We can communicate with the user by designing that ABCD in different ways, right? That's why I would say no information is small. No information that you get is small. Everything that you get from a kid or an old lady or whomever you come across, you are going to design for them, right? You will be designing for them. So you need to know all of them, right? At least whichever task comes into you, you'll have to know everything about the task that comes in, right? If you're going to create a brand, create a experience for a kid's brand, you will have to be a kid and think from his perspective what he needs, and you will have to think from his parents perspective what they need in order to invest on their kid, because always kids won't invest, right? Parents would invest. So that is the psychology what Baiju learning app. Have you heard about Baiju's? Okay, Baiju's is a learning app like An Academy, or it's a learning app for kids, like from small age to 12th grade. They'll be teaching them. So here they will not their audience, their users are kids, right? Their users are kids, but they won't target the kids. They'll just they'll just use the psychology of the kids in order to make the kids and go to their parents and ask to join their app. Like they'll tell the kids like they can earn when they are in their 5th grade. They can earn by doing coding. That's how they advertise themselves. Okay, so that's why they'll convince the kid first, and then they'll start convincing their parents. So that is the success of Baiju's app. You know what they did? They've prepared a questionnaire for the student and made them fill the questionnaire, and for what all the mistakes they have done, they'll give a chart for the parents in order to let them know in which part their kids are not good enough. So in that point, every parents would get convinced, right? In order to make their child best in everything, they'll get convinced and they'll trust the brand, saying that the brand would make the child's intelligence complete. That is how they market their product to the parents and make them invest in it. Okay, this is one example brand that will use psychology in a best way possible. Okay, they'll themselves make an gap and they'll fill that. Got it? They'll create a demand and they'll fill the demand. So this is like a one solution, where if we create a demand, there will be a need for a demand, and that time if we enter At that time, if we enter, we'll obviously succeed, right? So this is one psychology that they have used, and they are the toppest educational brand that exists. They have also buy. Have you heard about Akash Coaching Institute? So they coach for IAS exam, group exams, and all. So it's there in
Yes,
Tamil
yes.
Nadu. It's there everywhere, all over India. Akash Academy. Yeah, Byju's bought it. They went out.
Cool.
Yeah, they've bought Akash Academy. Got it. So
So
they are the whales in education business. Byju's. Okay. So this is how psychology can help you to achieve whatever profit you want. Okay, so this is how a UX designer should think. This should be his thinking process in order to make a profit out of whatever things we get. Even if it is a leaf, we'll have to sell it, right? that is the that is how important a UX field is. That is why it is highly paid. Got it. So whatever you're doing, you'll have to involve yourself completely and give the best experience possible. So why these people are investing in the brand that you're working? They are just trusting UX designers, nothing about the product. They just trust the UX designer for the experience that they get. So there are multiple education apps, right? There are so many apps, and teachers are there everywhere. There are similar teachers who came from the same background. There are no trainings that are happening in the brand. There are no training happening in Byju's or an academy or whatever educational brand we come across. There is no training happening for the teachers. They are just marketing their brand in a best way possible, and for that they need UX designers, because UX designers is one who can research and who can decide how the user would think, and he can create a whole experience for the user and make him happy. So at the end of the day, all the user needs to go out of the app being satisfied, right? That is the responsibility of us. When we design, we'll have to give the full satisfaction for the customer who comes in. That's why he's investing a lot. He could instead invest in some neighborhood tuition for his kids if he wants him to get state first or something like that. But why is he choosing Byju's? Why is he paying 50,000 instead of 500, where he can pay? You are making him pay 5,000, 50,000 instead of 5,000, right? So what is the difference that you see from the neighborhood tuition and Byju's? Just the experience that they give. Just the experience that they give. Nothing else, right? So that is how your value will get increased, right? Other more than the purpose that we get, people will enjoy the surrounding that they are. They'll enjoy the journey that they're following, that they're experiencing. That is what every human being needs. So we are the one who is designing that for them. So that is why it is highly paid. Got it. So I'll show you other psychology. So this is Hicks law. Hicks law is nothing but, have you went across this Zomato app? So everybody would have used Zomato, right? Zomato, Swiggy. If you have lesser options, okay, if you have lesser options, it will be easy for you to choose. But if you're ordering through Zomato or Swiggy, you will be seeing so many restaurants and so many food options which they will give, right? So every time, every Zomato and Swiggy users would face this problem of deciding what to eat. They'll invest 1 hour in an app to just decide what to eat. Okay. So this law states that increase in options, increase in options will make the user to will make the user's decision more difficult. So that is the theory of this law. Okay. So most of the options that you give, it's difficult for him to choose one. You can use this law where in the place wherever it's possible. If you want the user to invest time on it, and if you want the user to get confused, then you can give a lot of options and make him stay and make him spend more time on it. Or if you want the user to be happy, or if you want the user to decide on the first go and just leave the app, you can give him the best experience by giving lesser option to him. Zomato, we have a lot of food options. Okay, a lot of food options. So for decreasing that, what they've done is they've organized it properly. So that is one law I'll be teaching you further. So you just need to know this is one psychology that runs behind every user mind. They'll get confused if you give so many options. So zomato is one example for it, where there are so many options. And if you can yourself try ordering one food through Zomato or Swiggy. Okay, you will yourself, when you're hungry, you will yourself find it will be difficult for you to, you know, select one food, because there will be multiple food. You will be choosing ramen and other. If you see biryani, you will be going for that, and you will get confused between ramen and biryani, what you'll eat. So you'll get confused. You don't know what to eat. So that level of confusion and customer disturbance will happen if you give a lot of items for them, or a lot of options for them. That is this law. Got it? So you can use it in best way. This is one psychology that you have. And whatever situation or whatever the problem that you face, you will have to give the design solution for that, right? In order to giving design solution, you can use whatever psychology that you've learned uh, here, right? This will help you out once you enter and once you start working. Okay. And memory limitations, every human have a certain memory limitations, right? So here the see, the memory capability is around 10 to 15 seconds. In 10 to 15 seconds, they can only remember 3 to 4 items. Okay, this is one memory limitations that a human brain has. Okay, so while you're designing, you will have to, instead of giving them a proper memory, you will have to let them guess what it is. You'll have to let them guess, like for example, you'll have to take the customer in that way, that they can remember it, right? They can remember a bit of information in order to go there. Got it? So it will come with something called mental model. So every user will have a mental model inside his head, even though it is right or wrong. Okay, so we will be remembering, there will be something coming to us, but it depends on the individual how he takes it, right? So every user would have some or other mental model, but you will have to select the target audience, and you will have to study about the mental model that they've been following. For example, that's what this example will suit for both mental models and memory limitation. You know, we'll have a mental model. If we select the logo of the button, it will take us to the home page, right? You'll have to go through so many websites and so many apps and see the functionalities of it in order to decide one functionality for your design, right? So have you seen many websites, like which website should I open now? Like, there is some website. So if I click on the logo, it will take to the home page. This will happen in most of the website. So it will become one of the mental model that a user would carry in their brain, right? Yeah, so this way you can play with the mental models and design your design. So this is the psychology. This is like, I've taught you 5 laws on psychology so far. One is Rostov effect, and others is serial position effect, Hicks law, memory limitations, and mental models. Okay, you can start designing your app with the wireframe that you have made. And the psychology, you can just, it's like a theory class, it's a lecture class. You can just keep it in your mind on the go. That's it. This is like a extra information that you're getting. Okay, so that's it for today's class.